Hello, guys. Welcome to the Thursday live stream. It's been a little while since we've been on here. What's up, guys? What is up? What is up? What is up? All right, give me just a second here. I'm going to get a couple things taken care of. Make sure everything's working because nothing ever works anymore these days. Guys, super exciting news. If you guys can't see, I have my new chair. My new chair is here. It's been built. I also am getting my new desk tomorrow, so there may or may not be a video tomorrow, depending on when my desk gets here. It's going to take me a good amount of time to get my desk done. So I'm building a whole new table where all of my stuff's going to come. It'll kind of look a little bit different in here once that is done and over with, which I'm super, super excited about. Hold on just one second. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay. All right. You're fine, Carissa. You're fine. What's up, Tough? Good to see you. All right, let's talk here. Brian, good to see you on YouTube. Justin, what is up? Good to see you as well. My member, I appreciate you. All right, guys, let's talk here. What we got going on? We got a lot to talk about. We got tropics to talk about. We got severe weather to talk about today. We actually have a pretty decent shot at some severe weather today into the southern plains. We've got flooding to talk about. I mean, you name it. There's literally everything ongoing here across the United States, really even going into next week as well. So here's our upper level cloud geocolor consensus here this morning. Here you can see just a training of complex of storms that's working its way across portions of the plains this morning, really more towards this afternoon here. We do have a train of flash flood warnings here in Arkansas. I'll get to that here in just a second. But this, I wouldn't say zonal jet stream or meridional jet stream that's being forced from the northwest down to the southeast here. This is aiding in training of thunderstorms, and we're getting flash flooding out of that there, especially down here into Arkansas this morning and down eventually what will be down here in northern Louisiana later on this morning, or more this afternoon, I should say. Also got an upper level trough up here, back up here into portions of Canada with a kind of a tail end cold front here for Indiana and Ohio. There could be a general couple of thunderstorms this afternoon with this area up here where those clouds are at here, so just be mindful of that if you're up in Indiana, Ohio this afternoon. But that system will be moving its way northeast, and we've got a lot of rain ongoing down here into Southern California and southwestern Arizona, where monsoon season is ongoing. We've also got the remnants of a tropical system that it's going to be working its way up into that area as well. So just a lot of different things that are going to be going on over the next couple of days here in terms of our pattern, our global pattern here. I do want to go ahead and kind of move into what we're seeing here with the severe weather today, and as well with the flash flooding here. Just a training of thunderstorms here from Russellville down through Conway, down here into Little Rock, Pine Bluff. We've got observed, or no, actually these are not observed yet. These are radar indicated flash flood warnings here for higher rainfall totals coming in. Just taking a look at these. Wow, between 2.5 and 6 inches of rain has fallen already here. This is in and around the Conway area here, Conway County. An additional 1.5, or sorry, additional half to an inch are possible. I'm actually shocked this is not observed, given the rainfall rates that we're seeing with this. Interesting. Yeah, this is interesting. So this complex of storms will be moving out. Actually, no, it won't be. Just kidding. There's more rain behind it. We're going to see some pretty significant flooding today out of this. I definitely think that's possible, and that may ultimately put a damper on today's severe weather. We'll see how this plays out this afternoon here. We do have a slight risk at play here for northeast Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, and western and southwestern Arkansas and northwestern portions of Louisiana today. Definitely could get a couple of tornadoes today out of this if different things happen. We've also got the threat for some damaging winds and that hail this afternoon. This isn't like a big time severe weather threat. This is going to definitely be in terms of the rain. More in terms of rain is going to be the issue, I think, with this. So, yeah, okay. See, I bet you guys are loving the weather. You guys are definitely getting some rain. So, I think this is where we're going to start to see those storms explode back up here north of Oklahoma City. And as they move across the southeastern quadrant of Oklahoma later on this afternoon, that's when we're going to have the issues. So, in terms of that severe weather threat later on this afternoon. Let me take a look at a couple more things here and see if we've got any updates. All right, I'm gonna wait for that new day one to come in because we'll get a new day one outlook as well. All right. All right, sorry, y'all. I was looking at some things behind the scenes here. What's up, Connor? Good to see you, bud. Good to see you. So let's do a timeline here of what we're going to see with these storms over the next couple of hours. Let's go Triple HR run here. We'll pull this up. Yeah, I'm friends with him, Tough. He's all right. He's pretty cool. Yeah, he's pretty cool. All right. So here's through this afternoon. God, I mean, it's just Arkansas and Northwest. It's more than likely Northwestern and Central Arkansas. They're going to get those higher totals this afternoon. But Jesus, I mean, this is like a good another 5 to 6, 10 hours of rainfall here that they don't need. It looks to be that supercells are going to erupt around 5 to 6 p.m. down here in that slight risk. So we'll be watching for a brief tornado or two later on down here near like Texarkana, Shreveport, Louisiana. Could see a couple brief tornadoes maybe, and the damaging wind and the hail right here. So it looks between about 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. will be kind of that magic window time frame for most of these storms here. The new chair looks thick. I know. I got the chair in yesterday and I built it, and I like it. It's very comfy as well, so I'm completely okay with it. So yeah, and then I get my desk tomorrow, which I'm super excited about as well. So we'll be building that as well. But yeah, there's the timeline. You know, looking at these rainfall totals too, I'll pull this up. Let me go here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Hold on just a second. That's not what I wanted. I am losing my mind, guys. I'm losing my mind. All right, here we go. I couldn't find where I was looking for. So once again, here's that timeline. We'll go 15Z and see if the new run's got anything on it here. I know it's been one of those days today. I've been up since 5:30 this morning. So yeah, it looks like the models are kind of decreasing on today's severe weather threat a little bit. So we'll see how this plays out this afternoon. There'll be a little bit of an outflow boundary in place, but it may be that we're just lacking in stability due to all this rain-cooled air that's going to be out in front of this event today. So we'll see what SPC does in about 15 minutes when they update. But other than that, I'm really going to be looking more of that flooding threat. So I'll pull the latest run. Let's go total QPF here. Actually, let's go back to the 14Z because it was a little bit better. Yeah, we could see some higher pockets, some significant higher pockets of rainfall in there, 3 to 5 inches of rainfall, especially up here near that northwestern quadrant of Arkansas, and then back down here into southwestern Arkansas and northern Louisiana. Definitely going to be looking at some higher totals as well. There'll be pockets of isolated 3 to 5 inches of rain. So definitely just be mindful, guys. If you're in Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, eastern Texas, eastern Oklahoma today, we'll have that severe weather threat at play. Very low in severe weather threat today, but we'll also have that flooding threat. So people just really don't think about the flooding threat when in terms of, you know, because they see severe weather, but they're like, oh, it's flooding. You know, that's the lesser of worries. But flooding can cause more issues, guys, than severe weather can. So just be mindful of that and remember that there. So, oh shit, it is doing that. I just noticed that. You guys see, it is just one of those days today where I just don't know what I'm doing. I just typically don't know what I'm doing today, apparently. Let's try this again. As I was saying here. Here are those rainfall totals through the next 15 hours here. 15 to 18 hours. Higher pockets up here in northwestern and central Arkansas. And then back down here into portions of Louisiana. Northeast Texas. You got some pockets of 1 to 3 in there, with higher pockets of 3 to 5 very locally. So once again, northern and central portions of Arkansas here, looking at those higher totals. And then we go down a little bit further south towards like southwestern Arkansas, eastern portions of Oklahoma, Northeast Texas there, 1 to 3, 3 to 5 inches of rainfall. So this is for today, guys. This will be through this afternoon. So once again, playing out the timeline so you guys can see it one more time, because I just don't know what I'm doing today, apparently. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, I got it fixed finally, so you guys should be able to see it now. But moving through here, we're going to have to watch a couple of brief isolated supercells here. I mean, some of the models, the her here kind of picks out a couple little bean supercells here, moving through like north of Texarkana here, moving into southwestern Arkansas. So we'll watch to see if we get a couple tornadoes today with this. It's definitely possible. But yeah, we'll just kind of we'll be watching. Mostly heavy rainfall is going to be the biggest thing today. Wait, Becca, what? I'm so confused at what you just said. I'm so confused. If you can't see the screen, you should be able to turn it. You can make it full screen. So. But yeah, so there's the timeline for today. But what I really want to get on here and talk to you guys about is this. Guess what, guys? We're back to hurricane season here. As expected, as I mentioned to you guys, we do have a 20% chance at a tropical cyclone developing here in the next 7 days. A lot of the ensembles and a lot of the model support does have this eventually potentially adventuring out to sea in about 7 to 10 days. A lot of the guidance kind of pulls this thing out. But this is not really the wave that I'm concerned about. It's the wave after this one that's still in Central Africa right now that's kind of working its way west. It's actually got a little MCS attached to it. So I'm watching that, but we're going to watch this. We'll see what happens with this one here. Only a 20% chance right now. Like I said, a lot of the ensemble support kind of pulls it west and then eventually northward. So we've got a lot of time to watch this. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue in terms of the overall, Jesus, Hazel. In terms of the overall impacts right now, but going toward the future, we'll have to watch it here. So over the next 7 to 10 days, we'll have to see what happens. So there definitely will be another area to watch behind this. It's just kind of waiting to see, like I said, what's going to happen with it. And generally looking at the GFS ensembles, I don't think the 12Z is quite yet in. Yeah, because we're just now getting the new run. Looking at the 06Z ensembles, we are going to have to watch this wave. It's very sporadic on what the models or what the ensembles want with it. So some take it north, some take it really north, some take it south. And then we have this. This is what I'm kind of waiting to see if the National Hurricane Center is going to highlight in the future, is a tropical depression or weak storm possible through next week across the East Coast here. This is generally associated with a cold front or a trough that moves through. And then you get some action down here in the Yucatan, but we're going to have to watch these waves. A lot of sporadic stuff going on. Unlike the GFS being really, or the GFS ensembles being really, really wonky, the European ensembles, a little bit different here. And this was the OOZ European run from last night. I want to take a look at this as well. Also, keeping our system a little bit further to the west here. And overall, you guys understand when we, watched Hurricane Aaron happen, generally a weaker system will track further west a little bit longer because it doesn't get, pulled up with a trough or with anything. So we're going to have to watch and see what in fact is happening here with this next week. As we go into next week, we'll start to kind of dive into where this is going to go, what's going to happen with it. But most of the models do support a tropical depression or storm. Our next name list on the list would be Gabrielle. So we'll be watching for that next name storm here. Where does it go after that? Does it go out to sea? Does it go west? Does it go south? Probably not south, but where does it go? Nobody knows. I don't know the answer to that. So that was the midnight run. And then we have the 06Z from this morning, kind of trending a little bit further to the south here. It looks like we may have 2 lows developing now. So once again, just a lot of different things to watch for here. There's not a lot of shear. No, in terms of a trough, there's a trough. But in terms of, the timing of this next week, there may not be a trough there. It just depends on what happens. So we'll have to wait and see. If we do get a trough that comes off the East Coast next week, we won't have to really worry about this because it will pull it out to sea. But I will let you guys know, just looking at our behind the scenes stuff, I don't really talk about this much on stream because it's so far out, but taking a look at our MJO phase going into the middle of September, we're going to get to about September 13th and beyond. It is going to be very, very favorable again coming off the coast of Africa, meaning we're going to have wave after wave after wave. So I really think in the next 10 to 15 days, we're going to be super, super busy in terms of watching waves potentially come off the coast, and each one of those can make a run for our area potentially. So we'll have to watch and see what happens. The Caribbean will also be a lot more favorable down here, so we'll have to watch down here. And then we're going to have to kind of go from there. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. As always here, if anything gets highlighted, you guys will know. We'll talk about it as always. But like I said, just kind of something to watch for here. And so those are your ensembles. The GFS run actually is coming in right now, and it is taking, there's our little system for next week. A little bit of a coastal system there. Another wave coming off here as well. The fact that we have a 104 millibar low coming off Africa is a little weird. You got a couple little lows down here in the Yucatan, but not anything super, super crazy right now. I don't even think the icon... Hold on a second. All right, guys. Sorry about that. All right. Excuse me. All right, as I was talking though, we were looking at the GFS model here, and just kind of looking at the tropics here. I'm not seeing a lot other than that wave for this week going into next week, and that one may just kind of trend west northwestward. So like I said, right now we're just kind of in that mode and that mindset where we're trying to figure out where the tropics are going to get going out, when things are going to get going. Just a lot of uncertainty. So until we get closer to like beginning of next week, middle of next week time frame, that's when we're going to know a little bit more on what's going to happen in terms of the tropics. So. We talk about the storm off the East Coast, Pacific Northwest. Yes. Let me head over to that real quick. And go regional with it. Yeah, so it's monsoon season over there right now. So we have the remnants of tropical system. I believe it's Juliet, I believe is what it is. Let me pull up. Let's do it this way. Yeah, so the remnants of tropical system Juliet is over here. That's where you guys are getting most of your rainfall. Just tropical moisture surging up into Southern California. You guys need the rainfall, so you got to take it, right? I mean, you can't argue with it. We've also got a system up here in the West Coast as well, Northwest Pacific here, an upper level low coming up here that's spinning towards Victoria, towards Seattle up here. So really not a lot going on in like the western portions of California, but it's more just southwestern. So Arizona, San Diego down here towards Los Angeles, just lots of moisture being surged up here. So we're going to get that rain relief that you guys need. But that is associated with the system down in the tropics where Juliet was originally. So, yep, Seattle, you guys are got an upper level low spinning up northwest of you up there. Not super concerned about anything. You guys are going to be fine up here mostly. A lot of cloud cover, maybe some wind, maybe some rain up there, but that system is associated with you guys up there. So, not a problem. All right, I want to go back and look at a couple more things here. We're going to keep today's live stream just a little bit brief because there's just not a lot really to talk about. There's stuff to talk about, but not too much. And then we'll probably do another live stream update for you guys tonight. I just wanted to get a little update to you guys out here today. Let me go back to our global pattern and see what it's doing here. All right, let's see if we've still got the same trend for next week. Yep, we do. We are going to see a massive polar vortex, guys, next week. Massive polar vortex. This is going to bring probably some of the coldest air of the year that we've seen since, you know, like early spring of last year. We could easily see temps in the 20s and 30s for overnight lows for portions of like Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota. This has been a trend for a good couple of days now. Both the European and the GFS have it, but I mean, this is a cold front that'll probably extend all the way down through Texas and down into the Florida area. So it won't be that cold down there, but the temps, especially up here near this upper level low, will be a lot cooler. So, and especially if we get this upper level jet streak to actually transition down south here, we may see some just ridiculously cold temps going towards the end of next weekend. So let me see what these temperature anomalies are doing. I'm quite curious on this. Wow. So it kind of comes in two waves. You get one little cold push of air and then another one right behind it. Interesting. Very, very interesting here. Thank you guys for the gifts, by the way. I appreciate it. Yeah, so like I said, you know, we got to watch this next week. I don't think there's going to be like clearly any winter weather or any precip associated with this. It would just be mostly cold air. Try to get some snow up in Canada with this. There'll be a nice little cold front coming through too. Is that a 999 millibar low? That's actually really impressive for this time of the year. 999 over the Great Lakes. That'll bring some potential water spouts too. Jeez, that's crazy. Taking a look at that upper level pattern right there. That is wild stuff. Yeah, these temps going into next week are wow, look at that, guys. Next Friday night, look at these lows. 40s, low 40s, 50s. That's a true cold front right there. That is a true cold front. Meg says, talk to me, Meg. Sorry, you're kind of stuck there. How low do you think we're talking here? Personally, right now, it's still a little far to get like super, super exact numbers, but I mean, row 48, 48 here, 52, 53. Next Saturday morning, like we've got 30s, 37. We're floating with 32 degree status in southern Minnesota, and this has been a trend for a good couple days now. So I'm really liking what we're seeing here with these numbers. But yeah, 40s through the GFS run is still coming in. This puts highs in the 50s and 60s, lows in the 30s and 40s. So this will be next weekend. So if you thought you enjoyed this week's cold air, wait till next week gets here. I mean, that's your cold front. You're still going to be gross down here. I'm sorry, guys. If you're in the southeast, may not reach that far south. That cold front will reach right around southern Oklahoma, southern Arkansas, maybe if that. Yeah, that's typically how it is. The PNW needs rain. You guys do need rain 100% as well on that, yes. So we'll see. Did SPC update? They made the slight risk bigger. Still got a 2% Tor wind threat and 5% hail threat today. So that'll be for down south there. Actually, no, it hasn't updated officially all the way yet. That was the older version. I gotta wait for it to update. So that's interesting. It looks like we're gonna have a heat wave building down here, though. Still got the 90s. Look at that. I hate that for you guys. I'm sorry down south. I hate that for you guys. Yeah, it's going to be just pushed down south there. So North Carolina, South Carolina, the whole southeast quarter will still be very warm, but we're experiencing, 40s and 50s. So that's very interesting going 200 hours out. Jeez. Imagine if this trough was coming in over here. We'd have a huge severe weather outbreak, but we don't. Thank God. I mean, look at that, guys. This is August going into September, and we're seeing these jet streaks already. That's impressive. Very, very impressive for this time of the year. So, and like I said, you look at those temperature anomalies for next week. You get one push of cold. Look at that. 15 to 20 degrees below average, and then another little push of cold air right behind it. That's something, guys. That's some cold air. That's legit cold air right there. Yeah, 20 years since Katrina tomorrow. I've been saying Katrina today. Technically, Katrina makes landfall tomorrow. It would have been tomorrow 20 years ago. Also, speaking of Katrina, I want you guys to see something. For all of you guys that went through Katrina and that know about Katrina and what happened with Katrina, I want to read you guys the Doomsday Report from the National Weather Service in New Orleans. So, August 28th, 2005 was a very, very not great day. The first doomsday report from the National Weather Service office ever issued in any office history came from the National Weather Service in New Orleans. So let me pull it up here and I'll show you guys. Hold on just one second. I want to read this to you guys so you guys can hear this report. I read it to some of my weather team this morning. I'm going to read it so you guys can hear. So here was the report. So if you were in New Orleans, Louisiana on August 28th in 2005, you knew Hurricane Katrina was coming. You knew it was happening, right? Category 3 hurricane. It was a Cat 5 week into a Cat 3. This is the report that the National Weather Service office sent out that morning. I'm going to read this to you guys so you can see this. I don't have the models to show for today. I have to find them and deep dive in the archive for them. I don't have them right now. But yeah, so I'm going to read this to you guys because this is something you'll never see, hopefully ever see again, from a National Weather Service office. But this was issued from the New Orleans, Louisiana National Weather Service office Sunday, August 28th, 2005. Listen to the wording that they put for this. Like, imagine you wake up and you hear this, right? Hurricane Katrina, a very powerful hurricane with unprecedented strength, rivaling the intensity of Hurricane Camille of 1969. That already, says something itself with that. Most of the area will be uninhabitable for weeks, perhaps longer. At least one half of well-constructed homes will have roof and wall failure. All gabled roofs will fail, leaving these homes severely damaged or destroyed. The majority of industrial buildings will become non-functional. Partial to complete wall and roof failure is expected. All wood-framed, low-rising apartment buildings will be destroyed. Concrete block low-rise apartments will sustain major damage, including some wall and roof failure. And then it gets even better. I hate, and not better in terms of good, but for the people that have to hear this when they wake up that morning. High-rise office and apartment buildings will sway dangerously, a few to the point of total collapse. All windows will blow out. Airborne debris will be widespread and may include heavy items such as household appliances. So imagine, guys, we were discussing this earlier this morning with some of our team, and we were talking about, like, imagine a dishwasher or, like, your stove getting tossed out of a home because of the hurricane force winds that this storm had. We're talking about Katrina, guys, because we're, on the anniversary of Katrina, if you're just joining in. But this is like what these people had to wake up to on this morning. Like 20 years ago, if you're in New Orleans, Louisiana, like your life is on the line. You wake up in this morning or that morning and your life is on the line. You've got the chance for like dishwashers to go flying in the wind, stoves, like, and get this, it gets even better. Listen to this. Even light vehicles, sport utility vehicles, and light trucks will be moved. The blown debris will create additional destruction. Persons, pets, and livestock exposed to the winds will face certain death if struck. Like, this is from the National Weather Service office in New Orleans on the day before Katrina made landfall. Like, that's crazy. Like, could you imagine being the person to issue this statement to the public? Like, it just blows my mind. It's crazy. And we ended up losing over 1,700 people. 1,700 people died in this hurricane. And that's from, Louisiana all the way up to, where the remnants ended up going. And then here's where it gets even crazier. Power outages will last for weeks, as most power poles will be down and transformers destroyed. Water shortages will make human suffering incredible by modern standards. Like I said, this was 2005. Our forecasting wasn't that great. The lifestyle wasn't that great. I mean, you think 20 years ago where we've come with technology and where we've, gone with the world. It's pretty crazy. Like, that's just wild. Like, just imagine waking up August 28th, Sunday, you're trying to get yourself together. There's potentially a hurricane coming, or there's a hurricane coming, but you didn't think the levees or the dam was going to break. That's the biggest thing. And this is ultimately why this came out, because of how strong Katrina was. Katrina was just insane. I was 4 years old when Katrina happened, so. Yeah, but it's crazy. It's crazy. So if anybody in chat went through Katrina or lived through Katrina, my heart and thoughts and prayers go out to you guys. I mean, it was just wild. But reading this, you're just like, what? Like, yeah, it's crazy. I know I need to watch that one, Meg. That's the one I definitely need to watch. I haven't watched the one about Helene yet, but I do need to watch it. So, but yeah, just imagine waking up that morning and you're just like, you step outside, you face certain death. That's how it is. So it's crazy. Yep, that is the only doomsday report, is what it's called, that any National Weather Service office has ever issued in history. And it made landfall as a Cat 3 hurricane, but just, it was the pressure inside was so bad. You had a 902 millibar Cat 5 hurricane at one point. I mean, Katrina was just on its own list. It's out there with all the outliers, kind of like Helene is. So, what Helene did to North Carolina last year, kind of in a little bit of a sense, is what Katrina did to, New Orleans back in 2005. Nowhere near comparison, but in a sense, if you were to try to look at things, that's where we would be looking at. So, but yeah, yeah, I was a kid. I was 4 years old, so we ended up getting flooding in Western North Carolina from the remnants that moved up in there. I do remember that, from at least from what my mom told me. But yeah, it's wild stuff. Like I said, just imagine waking up that morning and you're just like, oh, what do I do? Yep, and I want you guys to understand, right now, we are not seeing any hurricanes, any tropical systems right now. We've got the one that we're watching off the coast of Africa. Just because this board is blank, with the exception of the new one that just popped up, I want you guys to understand, we are about to be in September, right? Just because we've not had any landfalling hurricanes this year or landfalling major systems, we've had some close calls, and it only takes one system to make or break the whole entire hurricane season in terms of the intensity, the impacts, the damage. And we still have the two most gruesome months to get through in terms of tropical development. I personally think we'll get a landfalling storm at some point. Don't know when it's going to be, don't know when it's going to happen, but rarely do we ever go a season without a landfalling system somewhere in the United States. It can happen, not saying it won't happen, but this is why you guys got to be prepared. This is this time where everybody's like, oh, we're in the middle of the season, there's nothing happening, it's fine, I'm in la la land, whatever. This is where typically people unplug, people don't pay attention, people aren't prepared, and 5 days to 10 days later, we got a system coming in and we're watching it, and it's like people are just unprepared. So it just blows my mind. It blows my mind that people just, that they are the way they are. So Yeah, our first hurricane of the year is the Cat 5. Yep, exactly. 100%. 100% on that. So, we have a long season to go, guys. Like I said, we're going to start seeing, especially as we go toward the middle of September, we're going to see a lot of these. These are what we call AOIs. These are development regions. So right now we have a 20% chance of a tropical cyclone developing in the next 7 to 10 days. This will more than likely, hopefully, go out to sea. The models and the ensembles do, in fact, kind of have that scenario happening here. But only time will tell. But let me go back to tropical look here, and we can take a look at this again. Let's look at our vorticity on this. I want to see what we have with our vorticity. So this is our little tropical wave that has that highlighted area right there. That's what we're watching. That's going to move off the coast. Let me zoom back out here. There we go. So see that little wave. It'll be moving. It'll get going. And then there's another one. Yeah, so this time of the year, most of the time when these systems come off the coast of Africa, they do move out into general fashion toward the northeast here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We've got, like I said, a long ways to watch and a long way to go with these systems. But more than times than not, they'll get pushed to the north. Hopefully that's the case. It's when we start to worry is when we start to see storms kind of track in this direction, or they track in this direction, or they form down here and they track up. So that's what we have to watch. So just how it is. So, not any United States impacts or threatening issues right now, but we're going to be watching for you guys over the next couple of days and really the next couple of weeks here as we get into the grind. So, why hasn't there been much hurricanes? Sinking air. So with the La Nina transition that we're seeing, there's been a pretty strong jet stream over most of the, Yucatan, the Gulf, the Caribbean. So any storms that have tried to move into that area have basically fallen apart due to sheer and dry air. But as we go into the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to see that flip-flop. We're going to see that jet streak trade winds kind of fall apart, and we're going to have an open, vulnerable Gulf and a Caribbean. So if any low were to just come off the Yucatan casually, as they typically do this time of the year, that's when, oh buddy boy, we get to watch for. So it's not an invest yet, Katie, but it more than likely will be here soon in the next couple of days. There will be multiple waves behind this. Absolutely 100%. Multiple waves. We may see a couple of waves that move off to sea, but like I said, it just takes one to casually go, or one down here to casually go, and we're kind of in that setup. So let's take a look actually at those steering patterns. Let me pull that up here. Where is it at? I'm going to lose my mind. There we go. 500 height anomaly. So right now, we got a pretty strong Bermuda high. This troughing up here along the East Coast is going to help, keep things kind of migrated right now, or migrated. I can't say the word, but anyways. If we're looking at next week, and this is over 200 hours out, so take this with a grain of salt. There's our massive polar vortex, or whatever you want to call it, that's going to be moving down next week. Just taking a look here, this would be our little system. Technically, this would have to go west. Technically. We'll see what the rest of the run does. Technically, it would be suppressed underneath the high, or it could slip out. But more than likely, this would be where it goes. We'll see. We'll see what this run does. I know this is, take this in La La Land, guys. This is over many days out right now. But what I want you guys to know is if you're on the East Coast, if you're in the Gulf, you just need to be prepared, guys. We are in the 2 most gruesome months of hurricane season. Whether there be something happening, not right now, it can flip in a switch. So... by the way, guys, thank you for all the gifts. Sav, good to see you in here. I appreciate all the TikToks, all the heart me. Thank you, guys, for all the gifts. Good to see you in here. I think this is your first time in here watching. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the love. So, yeah, like I said, we've got to watch. It's not time to panic. It's not time to freak out. But here's my issue is, once this cold front pushes out next weekend, and we officially get into the second week of September, if this is a pattern that we're looking at and we've got a blocking high off the East Coast, we're going to see these storms trail west. They're going to have to go west. They can't slip between anything to go out to sea. So that's my concern, is what happens after September 10th? What happens after September 10th? What is our MJO doing? What is our tropical waves doing? And right now it suggests a lot of waves coming off the coast. And if we are in fact looking at a strong Bermuda high, we're going to be watching this thing pull west. Yeah, guys, just the heads up as well, for any of you guys that are conspiracy theorists or any of that in here, I don't, criticize or anything, but we don't do that government bullcrap on here. So if you believe that government controls hurricanes, that's not a thing. I'm sorry. It's just not. Cloud seeding is a thing to a certain extent, but it doesn't control hurricanes, and it doesn't do any of that stuff. So once again, if you're in here and that's what you're under the influence of, that's not a thing. So I just wanted to reiterate that as well to you guys, that is not a thing. So for any of y'all that may think that's a thing, that is not. So a hurricane is basically the equivalent to 10 nuclear bombs. That is the pressure gradient that's inside of a storm. You can't control that. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. There's a lot of theories. There's a lot of conspiracy theorism out there. As everybody thought Hurricane Helene was going to, or not Helene, but Hurricane Aaron was going to slam into the East Coast, and it never did. Those were all the conspiracy theorists out there that have no weather background, that have no idea what they're talking about. We learned that on the first go around. We're not going to do that again on the second go around. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is definitely, I want to watch. I want to watch this. I want to watch this going into next week. So this will be very, very interesting. And depending on how strong this high goes, where does it go? So. Yeah, okay, so Rogue made a good point to me as well here. So let's actually take a look at our sea surface temperatures, because the reason why, guys, the reason why storms form rapidly and strengthen rapidly this time of the year, like we saw with Hurricane Aaron, is the warm water temperatures. When you have no dry air and no shear for storms to kind of be ripped apart with, we are going to be, you know, having very warm water temperatures. And so if we look at our latest map here, this is our latest sea surface analysis. That's not the one I wanted. Pull this up here. Take a look at these waters, right? I mean, this is updated now. We have a boiling Gulf, a boiling Yucatan/Caribbean. We have a boiling East Coast. So any system that can make its way into this area going to rapidly intensify almost every single time. If there's no shear and there's no dry air to ruin it, we have ample water temperatures. We would be looking at a bad situation. So if we get any storms that come this direction, this is where my concern is the biggest. So once again, I always tell you guys, if you're on the East Coast, if you're on the Gulf, prepare. We're in peak hurricane season. Something may not be happening now, but that may change in 10 or 5 days, 10 to 15, 20 days. You never know. So, we don't know what the system's going to do off the coast of Africa yet. Right now, most of the model guidance has it going out to sea, but we'll see what happens. So, but those warm water temperatures are going to be the biggest issue in terms of keeping things going here. And actually taking a look at this. This is interesting. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Excuse me. Oh, I'm going to lose my mind. Eastern Pacific. Is that our La Nina? Hold on a minute. It's not what I wanted. Come back. Yep, so the tropical Atlantic right now, very, very warm. You can still see that splotch of blue from where Hurricane Aaron was at, but a very, very warm MDR, favorable for tropical cyclones to develop, very, very favorable for hurricanes to develop. And then we look at, I wanted to look back at that Eastern Pacific here. This is impressive. We have a very, very high below average content here, which is going to favor that La Nina transition as we go into the winter months. So, which means winter will be very interesting as well. Yeah, we don't have anything to go off on right now. There's nothing that's completely formed yet. Yeah, nothing to officially go off of. So. Did SPC officially update? We'll see what NHC does in just a little bit. They'll do their 2 o'clock update here soon. So we'll see if they do anything with that. I want to go back to the... Yeah, the GFS is going to suppress it west. So this is what we don't want to see. We don't want to see a high pressure dominating, because this is going to pull this to the west is what it would do. I mean, this is over 300 hours out at this point, so we're in la la land, but I'm trying to get you guys to understand any of these tropical waves that come off the coast going through this month and through next month are going to have potential to come our direction because of the high pressures that's going to be in place, the steering mechanism. So it's not a set in stone yet, but some of these can go out to sea if there's a weakness. It just depends on the Bermuda high and depends on the East Coast high if there's any. So that is the steering mechanisms. They made that 2% tour risk a little bit wider for today. Interesting. So it's a very interesting pattern. That is definitely for sure. Let me see, did the icon run it? Let me look at the icon real quick. Dude, the icon's been doing this forever. It's been showing like a full-blown like land hurricane coming off the coast of Africa, which makes absolute no sense. And then you have the icon. Look at this. This is our cold air mass for next week. The icon is tripping right now. It's like the icon's wanting 30-degree below average temps for northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. I don't think it's going to get that cold because the icon's a little bit of an outlier when it comes to forecasting colder trends. But between this and that, I don't know which one's more impressive. The fact that we have a Cat 2 over land coming off the coast of Africa, which makes no meteorological sense, or that we have 40-degree below average temperatures next week. I don't know which one's more impressive. I don't know. It's where things get a little bit interesting. Also, guys, if you have not hit that follow button yet, do hit that follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you as well. Make sure y'all hit that sub button over there. I do appreciate it very, very, very much. Yeah, I think the icon's broken too. That's very typical of the icon to do that, so. I didn't see what the Euro did last night. What did the Euro do? Yeah, the Euro has it coming off too and then going out to sea. Interesting. We'll be able to see what the ensembles do today as well. Yeah, so the ensembles don't even have this wave emerging until after Sunday. Interesting. Can this load already? There we go. You guys see what I see, right? Snow up in Canada. That is the 32-degree line for next Sunday. That's impressive. That's very impressive. So it'll be dominated by high pressure, though. Interesting. I'm pretty sure you guys will see this talked about today on social media. There she is. Imagine we get snow in September. I know that'd be wild. I don't think that's gonna happen, but that'd be wild. That would definitely be something to say for sure. It was, babe. Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah, you'll see this on social media today, 100%, because it's the first dermatistic run in multiple days to show a hurricane out in the Atlantic. And it does worry me because this could head this direction, but it could also slip out, so we'll see what the run does. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, I know, right? Also, guys, I have some super exciting news for y'all that have been following me for a while and know that I'm out of school right now. I officially went to college yesterday and got classes set up so I can finish my 2-year degree in the next 2.5 semesters. So I will be going back to school in January with one class to kind of just get back into it. I'm taking a calc class. And then fall of next year and spring of 2027, I will be done with my 2-year associate in science degree. So 2.5 semesters left to go until my 2 year is done. And then I'll either be transferring to Oklahoma University or transferring to Mississippi State online to finish my bachelor's. So that'll come at a cost, but I will let you guys know all of the support, all the gifts, all the donos that you guys do on stream, that is going towards my school funding. That is being set aside. So if you guys gift, if you donate, if you do anything, that is all going towards that. So if you ever want to do that, you can. That's set aside. Just let me know. So I will be going back to school officially in January. That is on the table. I wanna get it done for you guys. I do. I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, you don't have credentials. You don't know what you're talking about." Okay. You know, it's just kind of one of those things. It's just one of those things. I know, that's where list that's what you want me to go to, don't you? If I got into OUO, I would take it. I have a 3.5 GPA right now, so it's not bad. The severe weather threat up here is for northeast Texas, southwestern Arkansas, northwestern Louisiana. This is gonna do some weird stuff right here. It's gonna go like It's gonna do some weird kind of stuff like Aaron did for the first time. I appreciate that, Michelle. I appreciate it. I did get jacked for the cookie. That is true as well. I did. I did. I definitely did. That is definitely true. What's the latest her model showing for today on this? Did the 16Z come? Okay, no. Interesting. So there's our little wave. There's our first wave coming off, and then there's our second wave. The second one looks a lot more vigorous. I like the second one a little bit better. I wonder if we'll get a land hurricane. I don't know what you consider as a land hurricane. They did, Mel. Yes, they did. Husband protection services. I know, right? That's funny. Interesting. It's not even showing the low yet. Oh. Well, that's what I've got for you guys today. I think I'm going to get ready to wrap stream up. We've been on here for about an hour. Oh, men of landfall. I mean, we won't know any answers till way later on. Way later on. I probably will have another weather update for you guys tonight. If anything changes, I'll post a video. There may be a video tomorrow, or there may not be. My dad's coming in up here to Kentucky for the weekend, so I won't be posting really any content at all this weekend. If we get any major updates, I'll do some quick videos, but there won't be any streams this weekend or any videos really, just because of the fact that my dad's going to be here. So he's driving 7 hours to come up and hang out with us here for the weekend. So if you guys don't see a lot of me between tomorrow and Sunday, that's why. I will have a whole new guest sort of kind of setup built by tomorrow. And then we'll be back to, when we get back on technically Monday, we'll be getting full force into this. We'll have some more information for you guys. So I'll post updates if we need to post updates, but other than the cold air and a little bit of severe weather today and some, like I said, tropical waves coming off the coast, we're just going to have to watch things, play things out. And I think we're all safe to say we can have a happy Labor Day weekend without any issues happening. So that's always good to hear and good to see. So I'm going to let you guys go. Other than that, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. And I'll see you guys back in here again at some point here soon. Other than that, thank you guys for the support. Y'all are awesome. Good